Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from YourBlackWorld.com. Today I saw an interesting article written by Juan Williams. Juan Williams works with Fox News, and Juan is kind of the lone black face on Fox News. There are other black people on there every now and then, but for the most part, there aren't that many black folks on Fox. And Juan said something that really got my attention. Juan actually mentioned me in an article, and he was talking about something that happened between us back in 2005 or 2007, excuse me, where I referred to him as Bill O'Reilly's happy little Negro. And in case you're wondering, the stuff did hit the fan. Syracuse University was debating as to whether or not they wanted to fire me. CNN and Fox News, well, mainly Fox News, kind of went pretty hard to try to get me fired. And honestly, I really kind of stood my ground. I didn't have any interest in backing down. If you say something, you need to stand by what you say. And just the same as almost everything I've said over the last 17 years of writing for the public, I don't take back a single word that I've said. Would I have said things differently if I could do it over again? I don't know. But I know that when I say something, I think it through. Even if it seems like I didn't think it through, I think about everything I say. And the fact is that Juan's role with Fox News is certainly something that's worthy of criticism from the black community. Now, one of the interesting things about Juan's article that also got my attention was the fact that he was trying to make this argument that says that black people have no stomach for black Republicans or black conservatives. He was making reference to what Rob Parker on ESPN said about the Washington Redskins quarterback Robert Griffin III, otherwise known as RG3. And in a conversation, Parker said that he wasn't sure if RG3 was a real brother or a cornball brother. Those are the words that he used. And honestly, I didn't think the language was quite right for the situation. I think he should have said it differently, but it's a fine, legitimate question. It's not as if that guy is somebody who you would expect to really stand up for the African American community. He seems to be interested in trying to detach himself, but then again, I don't know. But here's the point: the idea that Juan believes that black people just simply cannot stomach the idea of a black person being a Republican or being a conservative, it's absolute nonsense. I can speak certainly for myself. My father is actually very conservative, more conservative than I would even care to admit. But I respect my dad more than almost anybody in the world because I know that you don't have to agree with someone on every issue to respect them. And I know that my dad is a strong black man. I know that he cares about the black community. And he almost dislikes the conservatives as much as he dislikes the liberals. He is more conservative than most, but he sees the racism on Fox News, and he sees that guys like Juan Williams, they pretty much work for institutions that are structured to maintain the historical oppression of black people. You don't have to go that far back on the plantation to understand what Juan Williams' role is. Juan Williams, his job is to basically support and affirm the racism that's being spewed by men like Bill O'Reilly and Sean Hannity to make them comfortable in that racism. It's no different from what the House Negro did on the plantation. So with Juan, one thing I think that he should certainly consider, and this is probably something he'll never mention because he doesn't want to address this, if you look at conservatives and you look across the board, you'll see that there are conservatives who get a tremendous amount of respect from the black community. I think the most prominent example is Colin Powell. I think that the respect level that black people have for Colin Powell is almost as great as the respect level they have for Barack Obama. I think that if Colin Powell had run against Barack Obama in the 2008 presidential election, it would have been a very close race. But what you'll notice about Colin Powell is that unlike many other black conservatives, he has not positioned himself to be a little parakeet. He is not repeating the ignorant party line without thinking for himself. Colin has said, look, I agree with some conservative values because I believe in things like self-sufficiency. And I believe in self-sufficiency. I think that's part of the problem that black people have, is that we don't have some of these conservative values that we used to have that helped us to protect ourselves against racism back in the day. We've become liberal, and we're buying into the democratic welfare state and the democratic ideals that could disconnect us from who we really are. Black people are people of God. The Democratic Party is not a party of God. They deliberately took the word God out of the party platform. So there are lots of things that the liberals are teaching us that they're convincing us to assimilate to that are not connected to the essence of who we are as a people. So, I think that when you look at a Colin Powell, you can see a guy who gets respect from both sides of the aisle because he is a free thinker. He's not co-opted by anybody. It's not as if he's getting paid a couple $1 million a year to go on Fox News and kiss Sean Hannity's butt or tell Bill O'Reilly that everything he says is okay. Don't get me wrong. I know Juan debates with those guys and sometimes he disagrees, but in far too many occasions I've seen him agree with some absolute nonsense. And so that is the difference between a Republican or a conservative that gets respect versus one who does not get respect. We know that Juan gets paid good money from Fox News to play a role. And when you play a role and you are the role, don't get mad when people define you by that role. So Juan Williams needs to give up this little pity party and realize that there's a reason people don't like him, and it's not because he's a conservative. It's because he's an idiot. So that's just my 2 cents on the issue, and you can quote me on that. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World. Please take care, God bless, and have a wonderful day. I'm gone. Peace.